challenging. No.
Because even at the best schools,
Although you know so they have parent teachers on for teaching part.
Ayanum, ayanum, shomrecha. Eloyanu Eloishad Shomer Shomer Yisrael Adonai Shomrecha Adonai Tzilcha Hayad Yeminecha Adonai Shomrecha Adonai Tzilcha Hayad Yeminecha Yom HaShemesh Lo Yakeka Ve'yareach B'layla Adonai Yishmor Mikol Rav Yishmor Et Nafshecha Adonai Yishmor Tzedka U'vorecha Ve'ata Ve'adolam. Begin with the chanting of a psalm. This was Psalm 121, known in Hebrew as Shir L'Ma'alot, a song for ascending. I turn my eyes to the mountains, from where will my help come? My help comes from God, Adonai, maker of heaven and earth. God will not let your foot give way, your guardian will not slumber. You see, the guardian of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. God is your protection, your guardian at your right hand. By day the sun will not strike you, nor the moon by night. God will guard you from all harm. God will guard your life. God guards your going and coming now and forever. Al mekomo yavo v'shalom. May Martin go unto God in peace. Atzur tamim paulo kichol racha mishpat el emunah ve'enav el tzadik v'yasharu tzadik ata Adonai lamidu la'achayot asher b'yadcha b'ganon kol ruchot chelu v'lecha zichronenu limchot v'yihiyu na'inechem v'rachamim aleinu v'kuchot ki lecha Adonai rachamim ve'aslichot Adonai natan v'Adonai lakach Ishem Adonai mevorach v'hu rachum yechaper bon v'lo yashchit v'yirba l'ashiv apol v'yirkoch hamato Ve'ashov he'afar al ha'reshaya Ve'aruach tashuv el ha'elohim asher netana. The dust returns to the earth as it was, but the spirit returns to God who gave it. May Martin's soul be bound up in the bond of life eternal, and may God send comfort to those who mourn and grant strength to those whose burden is sorrow. And let us say, Amen. I apologize for the cemetery staff. Let me know that the microphone is not working. So we're going to do our best to speak loudly and clearly. Thank you everyone for coming. And thank you to those of you who can't be here in the Shaarey Zedek Cemetery but have tuned into our service. Today we honor Martin Erlichman. Matityahu David ben Yosef Vechaya, the son of Joseph and Clara Erlichman, Zichronam Livracha, of blessed memory. Martin passed away Tuesday evening, 17th day in the Hebrew month of Shvat, and on the day of his 83rd birthday. Today we pay tribute to his life, joining together as friends, as family, and as a community, to show Martin the ultimate respect of accompanying him here to his final resting place, and together to say goodbye. Martin is survived by his wife, Shaarey Ricky, by his daughters and their families, Rhonda and David, Shaarey and Howie, Deborah and Danny, by his grandchildren, Max and Michaela and their son Harris, Jonah and Riley, Jory, Sam, Abby, and Sophie, by his sister Evie, by his brother-in-law Sheldon, nephew Brandon, niece Callie, her husband Josh, and their kids Jonah and Isabella, and by his sister-in-law Bonnie. Martin was predeceased by his parents, Clara and Joe, and by his sister Ruthie, of blessed memory. Zichronam livracha. There is a teaching about dying on one's birthday, that it's a sign in Jewish tradition of a tzaddik, a righteous person. This one comes from the famous Lubavitcher Rebbe, who said the Hasidic masters explain that on the day we are born, we are entrusted with a mission. The tzaddik, the righteous person, lives his or her life achieving their fullest potential and completes their mission on earth in the most perfect way possible. This perfection is expressed in the fact that their mission ends on the very same day that it was begun. In fact, Moshe Rabbeinu, was said to have died on the 7th of Adar, which was his 120th birthday. Someone I know referred to Martin Erlichman as the personification of a gentleman. He was kind, gentle, and loving. He paid attention to people. A true man of the people, he could talk to anyone, become friends with anyone, become friends with everyone. He wanted to help. In fact, he loved to help, though he wanted no credit, no accolades. He could get things done, knew how to talk to people in a persuasive yet non-confrontational way. His activism, philanthropy, and generosity speak volumes. The causes he was involved in range from Jewish causes, JNF, UJA, the Sharon Home, to community causes, the Symphony, Skills Unlimited, the Blue Bombers, and even influencing things behind the scenes for wheelchair accessibility at sidewalks in Winnipeg and the downtown concourse. Martin truly loved life. He was happy, he could be passionate, but he was also practical, level-headed, a realist in his signature stoic way. In his youth, he was an active person. He swam, he skied, he water skied, an avid golfer. He was, for lack of a better term, cool. He rode a motorcycle. He drove a boat. He flew planes. He was obsessed with sports. He loved to watch sports. In fact, Shaarey Ricky said they installed a special, maybe not legal, satellite dish before their house was actually really finished, just so he could watch sports 24/7. He loved the Bombers, and especially his bomber jacket, a gift from the team. Never missed a Jets game or a Goldeyes game. And at Simkin, I always knew I could ask him if he'd watched last night's, whatever it was, sporting event. He truly had a great look. He had a mustache, he was a handsome guy, and he was fashionable too, carrying a merce far ahead of his time. He was also way ahead of his time when it came to the idea of mindfulness. He genuinely believed in positive thinking, in mind over matter, meditation, independence, and self-determination. That is certainly a word that can define Martin Erlichman. Determined. Diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in his early 20s, he took on every challenge it brought with courage and with strength. When he got his scooter in the late 80s, it never deterred him as he schlepped it all over town. He'd pull right up to the table with family and friends and smile wide for the camera. And amazingly, for the last 15 years, he persevered through dialysis treatments 3 times a week. He was motivated by his love for life and his love for his family. He knew he came from a special extended family, the Simpkins, with deep roots and tons of branches. He grew up among his cousins and aunts and uncles on Seven Oaks Place and knew firsthand the values of family and community. He loved his daughters, whom we'll hear from in a moment with their eulogy, and beamed with pride at their accomplishments and their lives. And he deeply loved his wife of 47 years, Shaarey Ricky. The story is he picked her out of the crowd at a Jets game and got his friend who he was at the game with to introduce them because he knew her. Later that night, he found her number in the phone book and called her up. And after a lunch date, where he sat on the same side of the booth as she was, and they chatted for 3 hours, he invited her to his boat, even though she didn't swim. Nevertheless, they metaphorically sailed off into the sunset after that, traveling together, building their home together, renovating their home together, everything together. He was even close with her parents, often visiting them in Florida, and the whole Blank family. Martin loved Shaarey Ricky and never hesitated to tell her. She stayed by him and cared for him throughout every challenge in his life, a truly devoted wife no matter what. Martin, as many people know, worked in the business his father Joe started, a business of photography. In fact, he was inspired by his dad, who gave him his first camera when he was 10 years old, and he grew to love it from there. In the end, at Simkin, his life revolved around the photos on the walls in his room. The photos of his family, the people he loved. He would stare at them, never forgetting their faces, and certainly never forgetting the memories and the joy those faces held within. May Martin Erlichman's memory be a blessing, and may he rest in peace. We're going to call up his daughters, whoever that is.
Might be hard to recognize who we are under all of this. I'm Rhonda, that's Shaarey, that's Deborah. Excuse me, it doesn't seem real to be speaking about our dad in the past tense. For so many years, he defied the odds. And not merely by being alive, but by embracing every moment. Our dad didn't have a glass full attitude. His glass was overflowing. The simple things gave him so much pleasure. A ride in his boat on the river, driving with the sunroof open and feeling the breeze, cheering his sports teams, and that even included curling, which I never understood. When our dad could have given up the fight and become an angry, bitter person faced with the challenges he had, he didn't. He chose to embrace the special in every day. He once chided me for telling him I was saving a piece of jewelry to wear on a special occasion. He sternly told me every day was special. As a younger man, our dad was a member of Rotary, which had the unusual practice of assessing a fine to their members when they had milestones to celebrate or family achievements. Our dad proudly stood up and announced our successes and happily paid the fines. It was easy to see the things that made our dad happy. He had a loud laugh that he shared generously. He had a quiet wisdom expressed in a few simple words. He was grateful for the small pleasures and the great love in his life, Shaarey Ricky. Family was so important to our dad. He was blessed to be one of 3 siblings and 18 first cousins who felt like siblings. They grew up as friends and neighbors, often in each other's homes. In these last years, when Dad couldn't do the word puzzles he enjoyed, I would play Who's That Cousin with him. We would look at one of the many family photos on his walls, and he always had a smile or an anecdote to share when I asked, who does Barb belong to? Or who was girl Jackie's dad? He always knew the answers. At the Simkin Center, we often referred to Dad as the Walmart greeter. He enjoyed spending time in the front atrium, saying hello to anyone who came in. He relished the social interaction and made friends with staff and residents alike. I often brought my little dog Vince to visit our dad. Vince would sit on Dad's lap as Dad ran his hands up and down his soft fur. Both man and dog enjoyed these soothing visits. Many times, the first words out of Dad's mouth as I arrived for a visit were, "Give me the dog." Well, Dad, we hope you're outdoors, enjoying the fresh air, surrounded by puddles and puddles of soft little dogs. And we girls know that Dad always ended a phone call or visit by saying, "Love you." Dad, love you.
Thank you. After the service, there will be a meal of consolation at the Shaarey Zedek Synagogue, 561 Wellington Crescent. And then the family will be sitting Shiva at the Simpkin Center and receiving visitors tomorrow evening and Sunday evening, 7 to 9. Prayers at 7:30. In a moment, we'll chant the El Malei Rachamim, the traditional Jewish memorial prayer, then recite the Mourner's Kaddish, and conclude with the time-honored ritual of shoveling earth into the grave. But for now, the El Malei Rachamim. El Malei Rachamim, Shochein Bamromim, Amsei Menucha Nechona, Tachat Kanfei Hashchina, B'malot Kedoshim Uteorim, Kezohar Arakia Mazirim, Enishmat Matityahu David Ben Yosef Echaya Shalach Leolamo Began Ente Menuchato Anabal Harachamim Hastireu V'Seiter Kenafecha Leolamim Utzror B'itzror Achai Benishmato Adonai Hu Nachalato V'Yanuach V'Shalom Hamishkavo V'Nomar Amen. Exalted, compassionate God, grant infinite rest in your sheltering presence among the holy and the pure to the soul of Martin Erlichman, who is gone to his eternal home. Merciful One, we ask that he find perfect peace in your eternal embrace. May his soul be bound up in the bond of life. May he rest in peace. And let us say, Amen. Again, there's a meal at the Shaarey Zedek after. We encourage family and friends to continue to reach out to Martin's family and express your words of comfort, your memories, to help them during this time as they've entered mourning. And they'll be sitting Shiva and receiving visitors again at the Simpkin Center, 1 Falconridge Drive, tomorrow night 7 to 9, Sunday night 7 to 9. Before we turn to the Mourner's Kaddish, after that we'll go into shoveling the earth. The family will lead us, but everyone is invited to participate. It's a mitzvah. It's a selfless act we do without any hope of any reward, to take care of someone, a loved one, until the very end. We believe in Jewish tradition our loved ones deserve to be buried by our own hands. Some people even ask if they can use their hands, and they can, but most people use shovels. Most people pour 3 shovelfuls of earth. Some people use the front of the shovel, some people use the back. or turn it part way. Some people will return the shovel to the earth when they're done. Some people will pass it to the next person. The custom with which you're familiar is the one that resonates with you, you should embrace. But there are shovels so that people can kind of line up on both sides. It's a little bit difficult. Just be very mindful and be careful because it is winter, of course, and it's icy near the gravesite. Sometimes there's a small, yes, right here in front of me, there's a small pail with a small shovel and sand that you can use to perform the mitzvah. If you don't want to use one of the large shovels, but you can use that one as well. We can bring it closer. Throughout the service, we offer the words of Job, the epitome of suffering in Jewish tradition, who said, Adonai Natan v'Adonai lakach, Yehi Shem Adonai mevorach. God has given, God has taken, blessed be the name of God. Again, may Martin's memory be for a blessing, as we mark that his essence will never leave the hearts and souls he touched throughout his life. We turn now to the mourner's Kaddish. Yit Gadal v'Yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah. Be'alma divra chirutei ve'yamlich malchutei b'chaye chod u'vyom echon u'chaye dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'bizman kari v'imru Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mevorach Le'olam U'Lalmei Almayah. Yiparach V'Yishtabach V'Yipa'ar V'Yitromam V'Yitnaseh V'Yitadar V'Yitaleh V'Yitalal Shemei Dekudsha Richu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'Shirata Tushbechata V'Nechemata Da'amiran Be'alma V'Imru Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya V'Chaim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'Imru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'Mromav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'Imru Amen. May the one who creates peace and harmony on high bring peace and harmony to us, to all Israel, and to all of humanity, as again together we say, Amen. And to the family we say, Hamakom Yinachem Etchem, B'toch Sha'ar Avelei Tzion V'Yerushalayim. May you be comforted and consoled among all those who are or who have ever been in mourning in our community. Thank you again to the family for the honor of being here, and thank you to everyone who has shown their support and joined their hearts together with theirs, and to everyone who has tuned into our service as well. I invite the family to come forward and to lead us in the final ritual shuffling.
I gotta